Okay, Bob, you're live.
All right, great, we're in here. Hey guys, so today we're going to be going through one of my favorite strategies here. It's ValueCharts. It's one of our newer add-ons that we have here at MetaStock, and it's actually part of this big promotion that we're running this month as well. So I'm kind of excited to be going through this with you guys. We're going to be covering quite a bit today, so I'm excited to go through this with you guys. In case you don't know me, I'm Bobby Hiller. I've been working here for about 3 years now at MetaStock. Definitely love the environment here. I've been interested in trading before I started here, but now I use our software and these different strategies that I'll be going through in my own personal trading as well. And I've gone ahead and put my contact details up on the screen, so if you guys ever have any questions, either during the webinar or after, feel free to reach out to me. You can ask questions on YouTube or in the Go-To webinar as well. Or afterwards, send me an email, give me a call. I'd be happy to review anything with you. Before we jump too far into things here, I do have to go through this fun disclaimer with you guys. So this demonstration is designed to instruct you on using MetaStock and accompanying software plugins, and it's not a recommendation to buy or sell, but rather guidelines to interpreting and using the specific indicators and features within the software. The information, software, and techniques presented today should only be used by investors who are aware of the inherent risk in trading. MetaStock shall have no liability for any investment decisions based on the use of their software, any trading strategies, or any information provided in connection with the company. So now that we've gone through that, for those of you that aren't very familiar with MetaStock, I do want to kind of touch in on our heritage. MetaStock was founded back in 1982, so we've been in business for about 37 years now. In 1995, we were actually purchased by Reuters, which a lot of you might be familiar with. And then we released our first real-time data feed based on Reuters technology back in 2005. And then we released our Zenith product from Reuters in 2012. We aren't going to be touching on that today, but that is a great project, and Jeff actually did a webinar on that last week. So maybe after this video, you guys might want to go check that one out if you're not too familiar with Zenith. Back in 2013, Scott Brown, the then president of MetaStock, he purchased MetaStock back from Thomson Reuters. So now we kind of run things on our own again here, and we're able to move a little bit faster than back when we were owned by Reuters. We are still partnered for them with our data, but just thought you guys might like to get some of those details. As far as our actual MetaStock software goes, the primary tools within the software allow you to scan the different markets to help you find different trading opportunities. You can also backtest different strategies with our system tester to test your ideas and see how they perform across different markets. We have a forecaster that's built into the software. We won't be touching on that much today either, as well as we have our real-time alerts, commentary, and signals. And you can get most of this starting at about just $59 per month on our end-of-day plan, ranging depending on what it is that you need. Our primary focus today, though, which I will be covering a lot of those things that we do, just using MicroQuant's ValueCharts add-on that we have for MetaStock. So let's see here. The main things we're going to be going through on ValueCharts too is how you can actually identify value in your trades using their proprietary patented techniques. You're going to be able to combine value with price and momentum to help you have better trades. We're going to go through how you can incorporate this value into your existing trading strategies, as well as use it on its own too. So you can either enhance your current strategy or just start fresh with the systems we're going to be going through today. Whatever's going to benefit you the best, really. It's really customizable so that however it is that you like to trade or whatever you're doing currently, you can still improve on that using some of the strategies and things that we're going to be going through today. So let's see here, some background on MicroQuant. That's the parent company of Basecamp Trading, who were the creators of this ValueCharts system. So in our MetaStock software, before the different ValueCharts indicators that we have, you'll see MQ, and that's for MicroQuant because they're the parent company. Drew Day, he's the owner of MicroQuant. And then you guys might have seen some of our other presentations on ValueCharts as well, done by either Thomas Wood, or I know John Osborne has done some of them as well. They're not the only people over at Basecamp Trading, but they're some of the key people that we were involved with when developing ValueCharts for the MetaStock software. So one of the really unique things here about ValueCharts, I mean, because we do have several different add-ons, is that it's actually patented technology. So a lot of people are familiar, with charts and with looking at momentum or pricing or things of that nature. But with this, you can even look up their US patent number if you like, but they actually developed a way to use valuation, in order to kind of display the value of a security. So whether it's overvalued or undervalued based on different criteria instead of just looking at the absolute price. So it's pretty unique what they've done here, and they even have some other patents pending on some of the technology and things that they use in this trading system. One of our favorite kind of success stories that we have, there was a struggling hedge fund. They were losing about $60,000 a month trading their funds. And we introduced the ValueCharts trading system to this hedge fund and showed them how to use these different momentums and valuation techniques that are based in this add-on. And they went from losing $60,000 a month into making a profit of $30,000 a month. I mean, that's a $90,000 turnaround per month using the exact strategies that we're going to be reviewing today. So pretty cool little success story there. And then, on top of that, they really wanted to, kind of vet themselves and show that, this isn't just another product or service or just some blip here. They actually approached several different PhDs with these different trading techniques, and they had them verified. And all of these different PhDs were in agreement that ValueCharts is highly effective in determining valuation in the markets. So has some real good background with this trading strategy here. And one of the other great things about it too, you might be, a Forex trader, or maybe you trade futures or options. Whatever it is, ValueCharts is going to be able to benefit you. And whatever time frame that you're trading on, whether you're an investor or doing swing position trading, or maybe you're a day trader, I mean, this system's going to be able to help you because it's going to tell you when, something's undervalued or overvalued. So help you to determine positive entries and exits, either by using it on its own or just combining it with your current strategies. I mean, it even works with like cryptocurrencies or indices, ETFs, you name it. So this is one of my favorite strategies to talk with a lot of my clients about, just because I know it's going to benefit anyone, even if they already have a system that's working great for them, or if they're really struggling and they're losing money or not making anything, just staying stagnant. By introducing some of the techniques that we're going to be going through, you can see some great improvement. Let's see. One of my favorite analogies to do with ValueCharts is to say that it's like the blue book of the stock market. Everyone's familiar with, when you go to buy a used car, probably just right off the top of your head, when a car is, a certain year and X amount of mileage, you don't know exactly how much that's worth, but everyone knows that they can go in and reference Kelly's Blue Book or other, criteria to give them a price point for what their vehicle is worth. Well, with this, it takes that same thing and it gives it to you, but for the stock market. So it can tell you when a stock is currently undervalued or overvalued, just like the Blue Book does for cars. So it's really unique, and it also makes it real easy to follow too, and it's going to apply to all the different securities. So this here is from a MetaStock chart here, and it's showing the ValueCharts indicator basically from MetaStock. But this is just a good demonstration to kind of show you how it works. Here in this green area, you would have this like below your normal price chart within MetaStock or your charting service, and it's going to show you, hey, if this security is currently showing in the green, that's a fair value. If you were to buy it here, you'd be getting in at a normal rate. It's like if if a car was valued on Kelley Blue Book at $3,000, if you're in the green, it's somewhere like $2,900 to $3,100. You're getting a pretty fair value. Once you start to go either up here into these yellow ranges or down here into this yellow, now you're either overvalued or undervalued. So maybe if something's undervalued and you buy it, you're looking at getting a good deal on it because it's currently priced underneath its value. But you wouldn't want to buy something that's significantly overvalued. That means you're not getting a good price on it. There's other people are not considering it to be worth that much money at that point in time based off of the systems this uses to identify that. So whenever you see these red marks here, especially when they go really into the red like this, hey, this is significantly overvalued. And when you actually hit that point, these significantly overvalued or undervalued strategies, testing has shown that you have almost a 90% chance of the market either going stagnant after that point or reversing from a significantly overvalued or undervalued marking here. So that's huge, and we're going to jump into this a little bit later here to kind of show it to you on a chart and go through it more thoroughly. But I just like to have this little image up here to kind of give you guys a good understanding of how it works. The other indicator that comes in our value chart system, it's their momentum, which you can see right here. And with this, they like to kind of compare it and say that it's, the MACD on steroids almost is what they'll compare it to. It'll identify momentum and price momentum and give you a good direction of the market. And by combining overvalued and undervalued securities with their momentum, this can help you to get a great trade. This solid white line here that you see, that's the fast line. So, the more short-term speed and direction of the security. And then it's a little harder to see here, but there's a gray dotted line as well. And that's the more slow or smooth line for speed and direction that's more long-term, I guess you could say. So very similar to the MACD in that sense, only you're not trading it like a signal line when it crosses over necessarily, but still similar nonetheless. And then the red and green histogram that you see, that's basically the power or the energy that's behind the momentum in the security or in the trend in it. So when you're really up here high, on this green here, there's a lot of positive momentum going into this. And plus you can see with this white line, it's angled almost straight up. So this is super strong in this direction. And then same over here, this is telling you there's a ton of power behind negative price movement right here with all this red and the down arrow. And then you can see like the lines here, they'll still come down and it can turn up on that solid white line, showing you, hey, price is kind of starting to reverse. But by looking at the histogram behind it, you can see, hey, it's still in a negative point though. If this hasn't reversed up to green here yet. So even though our arrow has shifted upwards, we're still not in a bullish scenario necessarily yet. And so that's kind of what these can teach you here. And we're going to go a little bit more in depth with this inside of the MetaStock software as well. I just kind of wanted to give you the general overview of the two main indicators, which is the momentum here and then the value charts overview here that it comes with. But there's so much more involved with it within our MetaStock software as well. So that's actually what we're going to go in and touch on next. So I'm going to go ahead and get MetaStock opened up here. Oops. So here's MetaStock. If you guys aren't familiar with MetaStock, just so you know, this is our main power console here, where you can kind of go in and start your daily analysis. As you can see, we have quite a bit of data that we include with our software, over 380,000 different securities available with our data feed. It's actually significantly more than that. We don't even put all the different symbols we carry in here just to not clog it down too much. But that doesn't mean that it's hard to manage. I mean, you can go in here, if you can filter these out too. Like if you're only trading North American securities, you can hide the rest so that you're not seeing it in here. Or easily just filter through what it is that you want to look at in MetaStock. And right now I'm under our charting tab here, and we'll be touching on some of these other power tools, well, primarily our Explorer later on, but you can also access our system tester for backtesting strategies and our forecaster for looking at future price movement based off historical data. So all sorts of things to do in here, but our main focuses today and with the value chart system are going to be on charting and the Explorer. And so from here, I can easily go in and if I have maybe a saved watch list or something, open up all my charts from that, or simply type in a security or search for one in here. Tons of different ways to access it. I do already have like a chart here of the Dow Jones Industrial Average. We'll just jump on this because people are familiar with it. It's a very common index, so I'm sure you guys have heard of it, and we can kind of just show you value charts and how it works on here. Now, there's a couple of different ways that you can utilize the value chart system within MetaStock. Right here we have our indicator list, and we have, literally hundreds of built-in indicators and systems, and you can customize and create your own or pull in systems from online or our forums or things like that in here. And then, of course, you can always weed out things that you're not going through. But with this, I did want to show you here. So we have, as I mentioned earlier, the MQ for micro quant. We have both the momentum indicator and the value charts indicator that I showed you guys earlier. And so if I already have a chart that I'm working with, I can easily go in and apply these different indicators to my chart. I can have them both on there at the same time. Maybe I just want one of them on my chart to be looking at, or you can go in and add things like volume or Bollinger Bands or the MACD as well, and create your own custom charts, and then even save templates of those for doing your analysis. But if you order the value chart system, you're actually going to get a template that you can apply where they've kind of just combined everything together and customize the colors to what we actually saw earlier is how it comes when you apply the template here. So we're going to go ahead and just put that onto our .dji symbol here. So if you apply their full template instead of creating your own custom one, what they've done here is they've put the momentum indicator that we briefly talked about right here, as well as the value charts or valuation indicator here. And then a couple things that I kind of want to point out to you guys here. If we look up here at the price chart of it, this is where the system starts to get really powerful, is when we're combining, the valuation of a security along with its momentum and the pricing to give you different indicators. And up here on the actual price chart itself, and you can change these, turn on or off any of these different indicators and systems. But basically what it's doing here with these all these little yellow dots and the red dots that you're seeing up here, they correlate with the value charts indicator down here. So you can see when we're in a yellow zone and we're undervalued on a security down at the bottom, then you can see up at the top you're getting a yellow dot. So This is actually even an expert advisor system where if you don't want to have the indicators down at the bottom of your chart, the momentum or the value charts, you can just apply these dots onto any other pricing chart to tell you, hey, this is currently undervalued or overvalued. If the dots are on top, that's telling you it's starting to enter an overvalued scenario. And the size of them matters as well. If you're just barely touching on the red down here, you're going to have a small dot up top. But when it starts to get larger, you know, hey, this security, as shown right here, is extremely undervalued. And then, you know, as soon as it is extremely undervalued, within a few bars, you're almost always going to see a reversal, as shown here. Or up here, it's saying, hey, this chart, or sorry, this security right here where this red dot is, shown by the little dot of red there, might be hard to see, but it's saying, hey, this is extremely overvalued. So it's likely going to turn, and that's what's happened here. And then you'll also notice there's the neutral bullish pressure and the neutral bearish pressure indicators as well. And those are just kind of telling you, hey, there's a potential in some market shift. We're starting to get pressure either on the upside or on the downside with these indicators. And those, I like to have, you know, potentially those on my chart if I don't have these bottom indicators down here. Another thing that you might notice is when you apply the template, they're giving you a ribbon down at the bottom as well for green if you're in a bullish trend bias, or red if you're in a bearish trend bias. And when it's black, that's just saying that you're basically in neither one. Another way you can kind of look at that is that's in the MQ momentum indicator here. You can see when it's downward with the red, and you also have negative price direction with your momentum indicator. When this is pointing downwards, price is headed in a downtrend, and this is the power behind that. When you have both that downward direction with the momentum indicator and the downward histogram here, that's what's putting us in a bearish zone. In the black here, when it takes out of that bearish zone, you notice we still have the red downward slope here, but our trend line has started to kind of go sideways. So it's saying, hey, you know, maybe this isn't an area you want to trade just because it doesn't have a current market direction. So that's basically what that ribbon is telling you and how to look at it. And one great thing about this template, though, which you might see on the chart here, are these VC value charts buy and sell signals. So when you have alignment of multiple things within the value chart system, so when you have your momentum starting to go downward here, saying price direction is going down, and also we have the overvalued condition from our value charts indicator here. So just pretty much everything's aligning with it, then it's going to give you an actual sell signal. Now, I mean, this system, I'd say it's mostly used to help enhance your current strategies, to help you make a decision on, you know, if this is going to be a good entry or exit, or help you to improve your existing strategies too. So you're not going to have a ton of these value charts buy and sell signals just because they're only based off of you know, having alignment from a lot of the different systems. And even then, there's still things that you want to do to kind of get confirmation of your trade. What we actually recommend doing once you do get this buy or sell signal is, I'd say, wait for the next bar to close below the low of the sell signal in order to actually get into that trade. Or if it's a buy signal, you can give yourself confirmation on waiting for it to close above the high of the buy signal if you want to play it a little more safe. But I mean, if you also use your indicators, see how much strength is behind your different trades and things, you know, you can do your own level of risk analysis to let you determine when you're actually going to get in and whether you're going to get out or not. But as you can see, when you do actually have the alignment of all of these and you get these signals, I mean, the market follows them almost perfectly. You get the value chart sell signal here, and then immediately we just started tanking down. And then, you know, you actually end up getting some warning here with these neutral bullish pressure saying, hey, there is potential of a shift here. And so when we received these, what we might do is tighten our stop loss or something. But as we can see on our momentum indicator, the price is still headed downward here. We still have a lot of negative downward here, and we're still in a bearish zone. So even though we had this bullish pressure signal set up, we wouldn't exit our trade here. If anything, we would maybe just tighten our stop, down to here or something, but we still have all this negative price momentum shown on our momentum indicator, and we're still in a bearish zone. So we would have stayed in this trade even when it became undervalued here. Actually, probably when it became undervalued, we might have gotten out of this trade or tightened our stop here. Either way, it all depends on kind of your trading. One of those would have happened. If you tighten your stop, you might have caught it even down here further. And then as soon as our momentum shifted up and we ended a bullish, we would have got out of this trade right here because the market's definitely switched at this point. So really, depending on your risk parameters that you use with your own strategies, you would have looked at getting in here and then getting out either here or here. So great trade you would have taken there, utilizing this system to help you out. And then same here with our buy signal. As you can see on our momentum price index, right here we had a change. Things were going downward. We're also getting alerts that, hey, this security is undervalued here, letting us look at it. So once we start getting these undervalued dots on our chart, we're going to be looking out for a reversal on this security. And then finally we get a signal like, hey, there's some power. We're starting to go upward with this bullish indicator. And as you can see here, our price momentum shifts. And then as soon as that's going positive and we actually get some power behind it, and we have the bullish zone on our ribbon here, it gave us another VC buy, like really strong indication like, hey, this is a great time to jump in the market. So depending on, your risk parameters that you'll set up, you would have gotten into this trade, somewhere right around here. And then we would start following this up. And, for micro quant and Basecamp trading, the creators of this, they use the MQ momentum indicator on all of their charts for all of their analysis, regardless of what they're doing, as well as the value charts here. And when you have this much power behind the momentum indicator and this positive of a trend line, there's a great chance you're going to see this positive direction in the market. So we would have gotten into this trade around here, and we would have held on to this guy because you can see here, this is positive. It's going bullish. Even though we end up getting, these overvalued indicators here, we can see based off of the momentum indicator that things are still going positive and strong. And so what this would warn us is, hey, maybe it's a good time to tighten our stops. So maybe, once we actually get an indicator like this, I like to potentially up my stop to like the previous bar's low or close, however you might want to do it, somewhere around here. But I personally would have likely stayed in this trade going longer, for a longer period of time, that is, just because I like to tighten my stops. That's the way that I like to get out of my trades, is wait for them to stop out. And so even though we had this overvalued indication here, considering momentum is still upwards, I wouldn't have looked to exit this right away. Likely once we got up here, I would have been watching this because it keeps giving me these indications, hey, this is a little bit overvalued, and we see this reversal here when my momentum dropped at this point. So right up here, I probably would have got stopped out of this right around here. For some people, though, you might have even stayed in that longer, depending on your criteria, because this is just a little blip here. We didn't have, a huge downward indication, so you might have even ridden that longer for an even longer trade. So there's a lot of ways to kind of use this. I just want you guys to know, if you already have your own strategies and everything, you can very easily just add the value charts indicator to give you these undervalued and overvalued criteria, and add the momentum indicator telling you what direction is price going. So let's take... Do we have any questions? You guys are more than welcome to go ahead and enter in any of your questions into YouTube or into the GoToWebinar, and I'd be happy to answer them for you guys.
Actually, Bob, you do have a question in YouTube.
Yeah.
Diruv Mehta asks, generally he says, well, how will MetaStock help us? And then more specifically, he asks, which indicator is best for day trading and gives accurate buy-sell signals?
Okay, yeah. So, I mean, the power of MetaStock is that you can, do this advanced charting here to give you criteria. And we're looking at a daily chart here of the Dow Jones Industrial, but it doesn't matter what you trade. You can apply any security onto your chart here, and we can even go into a different time frame. So if you're day trading, say you like to look at hourly charts, we can go ahead and open up an hourly chart utilizing this value chart system or any other, and then still apply the same criteria to it and still use our momentum indicator and value charts to help us with the trades on this. And then to kind of further answer your question there, if you say you want to know the best system or strategy, I mean, I'll tell you according to today's demo with value charts, I think this is going to help improve any strategy that you're using currently, and I think it works wonderfully on its own. I personally use the momentum and value charts indicators on my chart, as well as getting confirmation from a couple other strategies. So value charts alone would work, but we do also have our system tester in MetaStock, which it's not a part of today's demo, but it does allow you to go in and take hundreds of different strategies and then do tests across different markets to see how these strategies would have performed historically, and so that you can potentially, based off historical results, improve your future trading using a strategy that you find has tested well against what it is that you like to trade. So with MetaStock's charting tools and the system tester and Explorer too, which I'll be showing you here shortly, it can really help benefit you in your trading, help you find the right strategy to work for you, and help you evaluate different securities and trades a lot better. Hope that kind of answers your question fully there. Actually, let's go ahead and just kind of jump into the Explorer right now, because that is a feature I want to show you guys. So with this, we've kind of seen the chart and what exactly it'll show you. But say you're looking for a trade today and you saw those buy and sell signals. They don't pop up all of the time with it because it's waiting for alignment of so many different things, which what I recommend doing is consider the overvalued and undervalued situations and look at your momentum to kind of give you confirmation on your other trades. But also, say you do just want to find securities that have a buy or sell signal based off of value charts today. If you go into our Explorer feature here, we have actually 6 different scans using the value charts system, all right here. So you can search the market for extremely overvalued criteria or extremely undervalued. So depending on if you're looking to go, long or short, or do a put or call, or however you guys trade, as well as you can search for the yellow signals as well for significantly undervalued or significantly overvalued criteria. And we even have scans for the actual value chart buy and sell signals. So if you only want to look at a list of securities that are giving a buy or sell signal today, then you would simply come in here and apply, turn on these explorations, as well as, or if you're looking for just something significantly under or overvalued, we can do that too. So let's actually even run a quick scan. So depending on, how many of the explorations that you choose here, which we do have other criteria as well that you can choose from to help you with your scanning, that's going to be kind of dependent on how long this scan takes. And then you can also, as you see over here, choose like, hey, do I want to run my scan off of minimum amount of records, or how many days or bars you want to run it on? If you're doing a daily scan, or say you want to look at hourly charts and get value, look for a buy signal that's giving, according to value charts, it says buy right now at this hour. You can do that as well. We'll just keep it on daily just to kind of keep things simple. And I'm going to jump into, let's just do a scan on like the S&P here, just to kind of show you guys how this works and how you can run different scans here. And obviously, if you look for, different criteria, you're going to get more hits based off what exactly you're running a scan on. And if you're working with like local data or the number of securities that you're searching for here, it's going to be dependent on the start time for this scan. But if I just hit start exploration here, you can see the 3 different explorations that I chose we're looking for significantly undervalued securities. I'm also interested to know, what securities in the S&P 400 is what I chose here, have a buy signal today or are giving me an exact sell signal today. And so instead of me looking at every single security on a chart, like we were kind of going through back here and looking manually for those buy and sell signals, you can just use our Explorer and it's going to search the market for you and it's going to give you the results so that you don't have to be sifting through, in this case, 1,200 charts because we're looking at the S&P 400 for 4 different securities.
Hey, Bobby.
Yep.
While you're waiting for that exploration, we do have a comment from YouTube.
Yeah.
William Morris says, nice software. I tend to find strong trends, then wait for the value to move fair value, which equates to a pullback, then buy with prevailing trend direction. Done 3 trades so far, and all were money makers. Just a comment I'd share while we're waiting. For
hey, I'm
MetaStock
glad to hear that
stocks.
too. Yeah. I've introduced value charts into my trading strategy about a month and a half ago, and it has significantly improved my results. My winners are bigger winners now, and my losers are smaller losers. If I even lose on them, I don't do a ton of trading. I wait for stronger signals. And so I've been having really good results with this. So I'm glad to hear that you are too. That's the feedback I've been getting from almost all of my clients who I've helped out with this system, is that it's improving their trades for them. So really glad to hear that. Thanks for commenting. So all right, guys, this exploration, it finished up here. You can see it did all 3 of those. And if you just look at this first one, it tells you, hey, we had 394 of those securities that are not considered undervalued right now. And it gave us a list of 7 results, which we can see here. And it's set up to just tell us the open, high, low, close. And then it tells us the value charts number here too. So you can even rank by this criteria to see, potentially how significantly undervalued is this right now. And then from here, you can take these results and simply open up that chart to look at the different securities that are giving you these signals. So I'm just going to go ahead and double click on this one here. And I have it set so that value charts is my default template that opens up. But maybe you have your own custom template that you have set up with your own strategy on it. And then you just also have it combined with value charts. You can have that automatically open up from there in your Explorer. So now I can look at a list of my results here. And then with that Explorer, I even have them all actually set. If I just click this arrow now, I can go through a list of all the different exploration results that I had for that. And so that's what we're looking at here. This one here looks like the New York Times. All right, so let's take a look here. With this security, as you can see, wow, that's an interesting looking chart. So it has dropped significantly here. And, we're obviously getting an indication, hey, this is extremely undervalued right now, is what this is telling us on our chart. But, in this case, just because it's extremely undervalued, if we actually look at our momentum here, it looks like the trend is still downward and significantly. So even though this is telling us, hey, this is currently extremely undervalued, well, the momentum behind this security is still negative. So that doesn't mean we would jump into this trade right away. What it means is we would want to start monitoring this security, and then we would wait for a change or a shift in our momentum here. As soon as the momentum starts to go upwards, if we're still in a undervalued or fair market condition according to our value charts, then this is likely a trade that we would want to get into and take. And again, just to kind of show you how that works here, let's just look at another example. This is just a random chart that we clicked into here. So here, same thing. If we would have ran the scan on this day, it would have popped up for us. And when I'm coming to look at this, like, okay, hey, this is undervalued, but according to momentum here, it's still downward, so it's not something that I'd want to get into yet, but it's something I want to look at. And if my momentum ends up shifting into a positive and it's still considered undervalued or even, in the fair value range and my momentum's gone up, then I want to go ahead and get into that security and try and take a trade. So potentially, when things shifted, we might have ended up getting into this. This does have a lot of sideways direction, though. As you can see from the ribbon, it has a lot of black and it's shifting into real low points. Our histogram here is telling us there is not a lot of power in the direction of this. So, it's really telling us a lot that, hey, potentially this might even be a security we don't want to trade right now. But, now the New York Times might be something you'd want to keep an eye on, because this is a huge drop and there's a lot of power here. It's telling us this is extremely undervalued. So there's a very good chance here that this is going to at some point turn around. So maybe something you'd want to watch. Let's go ahead and just click into the next one here. Same thing. It looks like, we've had a big drop in today's market, apparently, from, I haven't quite looked at everything yet. So we're getting another extremely undervalued dot here telling us. If we look at momentum, though, we are still in a negative price point. So not necessarily a trade we want to get into yet, but maybe something we want to start to monitor. And as soon as our momentum shifts up, a trade that we can take. And just to kind of, again, jump back. So if we go here, if we had ran this scan back on this day and got an indication like, hey, this is extremely undervalued. So, that means there's a 90% chance it's either going to continue to either go sideways or reverse. So let's keep an eye on it. And then if we watch it, and if we come over here, it looks like right here, this day, we enter into a bullish period. We're still fairly valued, and my momentum has finally shifted up. So potentially something we'd get into right around this point here. And then once we come out of the bullish phase, we would have got out up here. Maybe not the best example, but just to kind of show you guys how it works. Like, you're not always going to be trading it every time it's undervalued. You want to first make sure that you have the trend in your direction. That's actually a really big thing to consider. In order to see trend direction too, you want to take let's say a bullish bias. If you're getting higher highs and higher lows, that means you're in a bullish market. So when you see something like this, it's going up and you're having higher highs and higher lows. We know this is in a positive market direction right here in this area. So we would only ever want to trade long in a scenario like this. So even though this is telling us it's overvalued here, because it's in a bullish market direction, we're not looking to take a short on this. Also stated down here, bullish. So we wouldn't be taking a short in this, even though it's saying that it's overvalued. We want the market direction to be, bullish if we're looking to go long, or so we wouldn't take those overvalued criteria into consideration. If it was a trade that we had gotten into down here, though, these are good things to monitor to let us know, hey, it might be doing a reversal at some point. So I like to, tighten my stops once I start to get a lot of that criteria. But as momentum shows down here, this stayed positive, but we would have had a tight stop on it considering these overvalued considerations. And so when there was this huge drop and gap here, we would have stopped out of it, and that wouldn't have affected us necessarily. So just something kind of to consider there. And then also, so you guys know too, if there's a specific security or chart or something you want me to look at, I'm more than happy to kind of pop it up and we could go through it together. I just wanted to kind of show you guys that using that Explorer can help you find these trades. And heck, if you wanted to scan the entire New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ just for the solid buy and sell signals, that's something that you could do, and you could trade just off of those until potentially you're more comfortable at bringing it into your own existing trading strategies. But if you trade utilizing the momentum indicator, only go long when it's in a positive trend direction and you're getting higher highs and higher lows, and only go short, when you're in a bearish zone identified by value charts and, with lower lows and etc. Then that's a great strategy. And just doing that, you're gonna have solid trading results. I mean, obviously we can't guarantee anything, but by utilizing these systems, I mean, myself and my clients and the people commenting on YouTube today have all had success utilizing this system. And you can even just see, just by looking at the chart, when you get these sell signals, you get a reversal here, and it catches it right at these tops too. But it gives you all of these tools to add into your existing trading as well, just to help benefit you. So, I mean, say you trade using the MACD, that's an indicator we have up here. Let's go ahead and just plop that onto our chart too. Say currently you're always trading off of the MACD. When you go above the signal line, that's when you get in. Well, hey, let's also add in the value chart system here. So right here, when you have this entry with the MACD, you can see down here, we're getting positive momentum with our momentum indicator, and we're stating we're in a bullish zone. So that's something, maybe potentially we would want to consider getting into even more strongly now, because we've confirmed it with another indicator or strategy that we've used. So just things to consider. But then also, I've had countless times where I get an entry signal from one of the other strategies that I use, but my momentum indicator with value charts is telling me, hey, even though price has started to go up, the price momentum is still negative. And so I didn't get into those trades, and it ended up saving me just a ton of money, because you can see, you will have instances where, your price point is going up, but that momentum on the momentum indicator here is still pointed downward, because it still knows that there is negative pressure behind this trading based off of the propriety and patented things that value charts have come up with. And I mean, it's saved me money a couple of times, and it's made me money as well. And ideally, it would hopefully do the same for a lot of you. Let me see here. So another thing that I did want to show you guys, let's actually say, I'm going to open up another template here. This is just our default popular template for MetaStock, which comes up, it gives you like the RSI index, it's going to give you the stochastic oscillator, the MACD, and then you have your pricing chart down here. So I just wanted to show you guys, say, this is what your charts look like currently in MetaStock or your other system. And I've already shown you that, you can easily add indicators up here in our indicator drop-down list. So I could add the the MQ momentum and the MQ value charts indicators from this list, or we also have an expert advisor for it as well, which I'm going to attach here. And what the expert advisor does, instead of putting those indicators on my charts, it adds the other details that we were looking at previously. So this will apply, the dots. So now, just by looking at this price chart here, without even looking at, these other indicators, or without having the momentum or value charts indicators on my chart, I still know what's going on here. I still know when this is being considered undervalued or overvalued. And you can even clean this up too. Like if you don't want to have the neutral, bearish or bullish pressure points on there, you can get rid of those. Or if you don't want the buy and sell signals on your chart, sure, get rid of them. I mean, you can really customize this here is what I'm trying to get at. But this gives me a ton of information here without taking up any more space on my pricing chart. I still have my other strategies or indicators up here as well. So I can combine all of these systems to help me with my trading. And I know when I'm in a bullish or bearish zone based off of my momentum indicator because of my ribbon down here. And then I have my overvalued and undervalued and still these indicators. So you do have that. That you can easily apply to any of your existing charts and immediately start benefiting your current trades and your current strategy analysis just by having these markings on your chart. Once you have an understanding for how the software works, your trades can improve just like that. Another great feature here that I want to make sure that I touch on with you guys, and we have this for almost all of our strategies within MetaStock, and it's one of my favorite features actually, is we provide expert commentary for you. So if you're new to trading, or if ValueCharts is new to you, and you can't remember everything that I'm going through today, or how exactly to use it, we do provide expert commentary on our strategies here, and you can apply this however you want. I have it docked here. Let me see if I can show you this, guys. So once you apply this commentary, I'm just going to leave it docked up here on top because this isn't my normal computer here. But what it'll tell you when I turn this on, let me actually shift back to today down on our chart. So you can see this little black arrow here. That means this expert commentary up here is applied to today's pricing chart. And let's maybe even clean this up a little bit. Get these off of here so we don't have all those other things we're not talking about on here. So anyways, so this commentary here is for today's signal, and it's going to tell me the current bar information up here. So just some basic analysis to go through. But it's also going to tell you what exactly the ValueCharts system is seeing on this security. So it's telling us, hey, currently the trading pressure for, I'm not even sure what security we're on here, ENS, is neutral to bearish. And then it'll tell you when a market's value relative to itself gets significantly undervalued, it increases the likelihood that we may see a slow descent and perhaps even a reversal higher. This is because the market has moved lower quickly and or significantly in an uncharacteristic fashion compared to past price movement. Hence, pressure exists to revert back to the normal or fair valued status. So it's going to explain the indicators and the systems. It's telling you what this bullish signal right here means on your chart. You can also see here the current ValueCharts analysis. So based off of the actual ValueCharts system, and it'll tell you too, the intraday extreme had this at one point significantly undervalued. And then at the close, it was significantly undervalued as well. These can vary though. If sometime throughout the day it was fair value, but then it closed at significantly undervalued, it's going to give you those details right here, because that might affect your choice as well. And then going even further down, you get even more information and details from this. It gives you analysis on the price, and it'll tell you other things that you need to consider with this trade too. It says while price can occasionally run lower from here, there's typically a 90% chance that price will reverse and move higher when ValueCharts is significantly undervalued. A 90% chance, guys. That's just wild. That's why I love this system, because when it does actually give me this criteria, there's such a good chance of me, of it either going sideways or reversing, which means either my money staying the same or my money going up. And, that's what I like to hear. So it tells you this information and provides it here. And then say maybe you're already within a trade, or you're considering a trade. It gives you these different considerations. Say you're already, long in this. So you want to look at hold considerations or short, however it may be. It gives you all those details here. It says buying it now would take advantage of its current relatively low price at its existing value. And it tells you, if you like to short primarily, shorting now would likely be late relative to its own price action. So probably not something that you would consider shorting right now. And then, you want to take all of this information into consideration too with your other strategies as well. Too, one thing to consider, we are still in a bearish market as it shows here. So this isn't necessarily something I would want to jump into right away. I personally would wait to get a bullish signal, but this is something that I'd be watching. And then as soon as it's bullish, if it's still giving me the positive buying criteria, if it's still undervalued or fairly valued, this is something I would want to get into. But if by the time my ribbon turns bullish, it's now considered overvalued, then I wouldn't get into that trade. So you have to use all of these things in conjunction with one another to help you with your trading, which is really, really easy to do here. Let's see. So we went through the Explorer, we went through the different chartings, the commentary. That's most of what I wanted to show you guys today. And two, just so you know, this commentary, it's not stagnant. I can change where my arrow is at and go through different days. So if you want to look at historical data too, I mean, you can click through it there or choose on your chart. Like when we had this buy signal here, I can apply my commentary there and it'll be customized to this day, or if we were on that day looking at it then, however you want to use it. That's the great thing about it. The beauty about it is that you can really use this to benefit you in one way or another. These strategies can improve your trading. And when we actually have this buy condition, it's telling us, hey, with this market, the momentum is gaining. At the same time, its relative valuation is still low. So when we had that buy signal, the value of the security was considered undervalued or low still, but our momentum is positive. It's in a bullish zone here, and that's why we got that buy signal. And as you can see, as soon as that signal came up, the market started going up, and this was positive. And then, right here we had an extremely overvalued rate. So that's telling us, hey, there's a 90% chance this is either going to go sideways or down. So this is where I would have got out of that. And with this security here, I mean, you can see for a while it's kind of been in this sideways market. But if this was something I was wanting to trade, you really can't take a better trade on it than what ValueCharts is telling you to do. So these are all things you guys should really take into consideration. And I can see we are actually starting to run out of time here. I know I've kind of just been going through this for a while. So if anyone does have any other questions that you'd like to ask me, or anything else in particular that you'd like for me to touch on, I can.
Bobby, you do have, so you had asked previously if anyone had any specific securities
Okay.
they wanted you to show them. We do have a couple of requests if you have time.
Yeah, we can look at a couple just real quick.
Vincenzo Denura, excuse me, Vincenzo, if I'm messing up your name, on YouTube asked if you could show gold. I think GLD will probably be a good symbol in that case.
Oop.
And Willie Morris, and I'll tell you here in a second, also asked to see FNKO. I'll repeat that if you need
Just is it .GLD here actually? I'm not sure if this was the security or actually, I realize maybe you're looking for gold in particular.
It's the ETF you're looking for.
Ah.
Yeah, that's the ETF.
Okay, yeah, so let's go ahead and take a look at that. I have my dock settings too big on this. Actually, let's just close this commentary out. So here's gold. I'm going to go ahead and apply the template onto this. I mean, we're going to go over a little bit on time here, but that's all right. I'm not in a rush to get out of here. So here's looking at gold. So you do know, like as I said, this is going to work across all different markets, including currencies, forex, futures, you name it. So here's a chart of gold. As we can see, we recently had a sell indicator showing some downward. It looks like though, if we look at our charts, I mean, we're jumping between bullish and bearish here on my trend ribbon, and the power behind this, it isn't significant. So I mean, it is telling us, hey, there's alignment of this being overvalued and negative, but the power behind it isn't very high. So, most likely this isn't one of the times we would have jumped into this, but it's something we would have been watching, or maybe, we would have got into it because there's still a lot of indication that this is going to go downward. But I would likely wait on gold here to look for this momentum just to be a little bit more powerful in the downward direction before you would want to short something like this. But say you were using the buy and sell signals on gold, if you use this, buy here and you decided to stay in this trade, looking at when it's positive, and then even if you bought when you got a buy signal and sold when you have the VC sell signal, I mean, you would have made a lot of money here. You would have made money here too. But like I said, always kind of take things with a grain of salt, apply your own analysis, make sure you have market trend in your direction with things like this. And personally, I like to, tighten my stops when I'm starting to see a shift in direction so that you can potentially, catch these all the way on the upside or not. But this is what it looks like for gold. What was the other one?
The other one was FNKO, which is Funko Incorporated. FNKO.
Okay. Oh, I have mine. I have my instrument search set on local data, I'm realizing here, but that should still apply. Let's see what the date on this is. So this data here, sorry guys, I have my local data turned on. I just realized this is a week ago. So if you're noticing some difference in the chart, that's because this data is from a week ago. I have my local downloaded or offline data turned on right now. But here's a chart of that for you. And you can see too, I mean, it looks pretty solid when we have the buys. You get the reversal, the sell, you have a reversal, but this is looking like it's been in a sideways market here for a while now. Let's kind of compare it with our momentum though. It looks like our momentum indicator has been calling this very well. It looks like the ribbon's been matching up with things too. But with this sideways market, it is maybe something that you'd want to be careful trading, I'd say, in a situation like this. You want to make sure you have a lot of power in your momentum indicator before taking these trades. Currently, it is showing upward. It's positive, but it's been fairly valued for a while here. I mean, there's a couple of days where it was considered overvalued, and every time that it was considered overvalued, you had an immediate reversal on it. Or when it was extremely undervalued here, it went up. Just by looking at this chart real quick, I mean, you can often kind of do a lot of analysis for how it trades on its own. And I'm seeing, if I was taking the undervalued and overvalued situations into account here, those almost seem even stronger on this chart than the momentum. So if I bought at these red points and then sold at the upper ones in a market like this, this one's extremely here, and the downward momentum, you could still make some money here. But of course, with these, when it's going sideways for so long like this, it's hard to make a determination on that. I'm not sure how you trade too. Maybe you're looking at hourly charts. Oh, sorry, I'm on my local data again, so I don't have the hourlies for this one set up. But you can, go into those different time frames too. It's actually something I recommend doing. Hey, if you're getting a buy signal on a daily chart and on a weekly chart, I mean, that puts even that much more power behind it. So something to consider. I do still have just a couple of slides I wanted to jump through with you guys. So let me get that pulled back up. Basically kind of just an overview. If you combine price, the value chart system, and momentum, and you put them all together, I mean, it's going to give you a solid trading strategy, or just additional powerful tools that you can use with your current analysis to enhance your trading. So I did go through the expert advisor just briefly. I wish I would have touched in on this even more, but there's so much information that's going to come in with the commentary on this. Plus, of course, we do actually provide a manual with this too that's going to go over everything in more detail. We did a training video on it too that I can send you access to. It's not normally given out, but I'll give you access to that as well. If this is something you wanted to order, just reach out to me and I can get you our special training that we did on it to give you more details on this. You get, like I said, there's 6 different explorations for you to run. You can run it against any securities of your choice to give you, the over and undervalued criteria, or just to search for those buy and sell signals. And there's other videos we've done on it too that you guys might want to check out just to give you even more details on it. I mean, I didn't even touch on all the power within it. I just kind of wanted to give you guys some good examples and show you the basics of how it works, because I don't want you guys to go in there and just sell when it's overvalued and buy when it's undervalued. I do want you to take momentum into consideration, take the trend direction into consideration. So I just wanted to make sure I touched on those things, because I have had people buy this and be like, hey, it was undervalued and I took the trade, but then it didn't go in the right direction. I was like, well, what was momentum doing when it was undervalued? And they hadn't taken all that into consideration. So that's why I wanted to make sure I reviewed all that with you guys today. And as we discussed at the beginning of the webinar, I mean, this is patented technology giving you these valuations on price. Instead of just looking at price, you can know is the price is undervalued or overvalued. I mean, this is some great software that we have here available for you guys. I mean, it's been proven time and time again. It completely switched a hedge fund around. It's improved my trading. It's improved my clients. Some of our viewers' tradings as well has been improved by this strategy. And it's easy to use. Whether you're an expert already and you already have a system that you follow, I guarantee that by adding in some of the tools in ValueCharts that you can improve your trading even more. Or, if you're a brand new novice beginner, great. We're going to be able to help you start out with a great strategy that's going to help you make some money here. Also, too, things we didn't even go through. I mean, all this stuff is completely customizable. If you just want to look at the ValueCharts indicator, don't care about momentum, you have your own momentum techniques you use, great. You can apply that on your chart. You can change the colors of it, the size, the parameters. I mean, completely customizable for you guys. And the reason, too, that not only because I personally use this strategy did I want to show it today, but it's actually part of this month's special sale. I mean, ValueCharts, normally we sell it for $14.95, and you have that on top of your MetaStock subscription. But as part of this month's promotion, we're doing the ValueCharts system for just $7.99. So, I mean, this thing's almost half off. With that, too, if you don't have MetaStock already, I can also get you a promotion with MetaStock where you can get 3 months access for the price of just 1 month. Starting as low as $59 with that. And then we can add that in with the trader pack. If you have an older version of MetaStock and you liked some of the features you saw, because we've been using 16 today, obviously our newest version with ValueCharts, we even have some promotions running to get you huge discounts on upgrading your MetaStock software to our latest version 16 so that you can get the ValueCharts system as well. These are all part of the promotions for this month. So just a few weeks left here to really take advantage of them. We're even giving out some additional free training material for those that want to sign up. If you're interested in just learning more about MetaStock in general, go ahead and visit metastock.com/Bobby Hiller. That's my name, BOBBYHILLER. And there's a bunch of descriptions and more information there, kind of going through our different power tools in MetaStock, showing you, how to do more customized charting, how to run scans, how to backtest your strategies and forecast the market. These are all tools that you combine together to improve your trading. I mean, we didn't even scratch the surface of everything that can be done, not even with the ValueCharts system, but I hope that we were able to at least cover a lot of it and that you guys can kind of see the power behind this. So if you're interested in, trying out MetaStock or in getting the ValueCharts system, let me know. Down at the bottom of this slide here, I put my contact details. After this webinar, I'll be back at my desk answering questions, helping out customers. You guys can give me a call. You can send me an email, bobby.hiller@metastock.com if you have any further questions. If you want me to send you additional, material or anything like that, I'm more than happy to help. You can also jump into our chat room at metastock.com/sales chat. Ask for me, Bobby, if you want to speak with me. You don't have to, but I'm always more than happy to help you guys out and always look into discounts or answer your questions. I'm all about it. So thanks to you guys for sitting through this with me today. And I look forward to, helping you out with anything else you might need or answering any questions that you might send my way.